In this topic, we're going to look at spreadsheets, and I know you've done some work in Year 7 on spreadsheets, but we're going to develop your skills a little bit further in Year 8 using these spreadsheets. So we're going to look at a design calculator, and what we're looking to do before we move on to spreadsheet work is just a little bit of knowledge recall from previous topics. So you need to answer the following questions in your e-portfolio. You need to be able to answer what is the pop-up called when you can pick a colour for an object when you're thinking about design, what is that called? And then what is a workbook? So that's to do with spreadsheets. What is a workbook? You also need to answer what is saving files in a format that can be used by other programs called. So if you're going to save your work that could be used by other programs, what is that called? And then you need to answer what HTML is. So you might want to pause the video and complete those questions before moving on. Okay, so we're going to look at what Spreadsheet is, what the software does, how to set up a new spreadsheet, and how to input data. And then we're going to look to manipulate the data in a future lesson. So today is really about formatting the spreadsheet as to how we want it to look. So there are two ways we can do this. We can do it in Microsoft Excel or we can do it in Google Sheets. I'm going to try and demonstrate both as we go along, and then you can make a decision as to which one you wish to use. If you're working from home, then you've got access to Google Sheets. If you're in school, then you've got access to Microsoft Excel. There are advantages and disadvantages of both, and really part of that is a personal choice as to which one is best for you. So if you are in school, you can open up Excel by going to Programs, Microsoft Office, and Excel 2013 or 2018, depending what version of Excel the school has. And if you're at home, then you can go to your Gmail. From your Gmail, using the 9 dots in the top right corner, looks like a square. If you click that, you can choose Sheets and then choose a blank sheet, and that'll open up a Google Sheet for you to use. So two different methods depending which way you wish to use it. By the end of this unit, this is what you're hopefully going to create. You're going to create a design calculator for trainers. It's working out costs for trainers and production of those. So that's what the whole topic is about and what you're going to work towards. So first of all, we're going to look at the information in here. What we've got is the active cell. The active cell is the name of the cell that you are clicked in at the time. And we can see here that I'm clicked on A4. So we're looking at the column and then the row. So first of all, the cell is A4. We look at the column, which is a letter, and then we look at the row, which is a number. So there's a recap of the name for a cell. So first of all, what we're going to do is start by adding this information into a spreadsheet. So whether that's Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. And what I've got here is both versions at the same time. So I've got on the left Google Sheets and on the right Microsoft Excel. So we're looking to produce this information in here. So I've written design calculator for trainers, order quantity, budget, design one, style, color and laces. And the same for my Microsoft Excel version. I've written exactly the same in the same cells, and you're going to need to pause the video and do that in your work. You just click on the cell and type that information. Now there are two main methods to resize these cells. If we look at the writing, like in this A1, design calculator for trainers, it doesn't all fit in one box. It's the same in the Excel version, it doesn't all fit in. So on the Excel one, I can just hover between the two columns, and you notice that my cursor changes a little bit when I hover between the two. When I get to that, I can either drag the cell to the size I want, or I can just double click and it'll resize that column. In Google Sheets, I can do the same. I can hover between the two, my cursor changes, I can resize or double click. So it doesn't matter which version you use, you should be able to resize that column to be the right size. Now what you can do as well is you can select lots of different cells at the same time, and if you move just one of them, they will all resize to the same. I'll do that up here. Resize all of them to the same. It's also a useful feature in Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. Okay, we need to add the rest of the information to the correct cells in our spreadsheet. So what we're looking to add in is this here. So we've got the first one done. We've got the order discount, order total, and in budget added in. I'm just going to demonstrate that as I'm working on my Google Sheets version. So just looking for you to put this information in as well. I've gone down to B13, and I'm putting order discount. And same in B14, order total. And then I've got in budget, and this is a question, so I've got a question mark. And what I can do with all of this, I can select this, Control C, copies it, and then I can move over, in fact, this is design 1 to budget, Control C, I've copied that, and I can move over to cell E7, click in there and press Control V, and that will just move the information in that I need to copy over. So I can again resize my cells, and I can do the same for copy it a third time for I7. So click in there, Control V, and resize my cells. Now, it wasn't I7, there's I7. And I just need to change the design number to design 2 and design 3. So I've just used copy and paste to copy that information in as to where I need that information to go. So I've done that on the Google Sheets. I can do exactly the same in the Excel. I can just go to B13 and type in my order discount, order total, and then lastly in budget question, in budget. And like I did in Google Sheets, I can just right click copy, and I can go to cell E7 and right click paste, or press Control Z, makes no difference, and same for J7, Control V, paste it, and change my numbers to design 2 and design 3, and then just resize my columns to make them fit. So that's what our setup is initially in our Google Slides and Google Sheets and Microsoft Excel. So you should have this now. The only thing I've not put in is the discount for over 50s. We can add that in a moment. So the next stage then is we're going to format text, and this is where you can create your own style to this. It makes no difference what colour, but you want to try and use a professional colour for this. Now in Excel we can see the formatting tools here. We've got merge and center, and then how we want to format our cells, and it's a little bit different in Google Sheets, but it works in the same sort of way. So if you want to pause the video, you can format your cells to look how you want them to look. So I'm going to select my colors here, and I can just go to a fill color and make them one color, and for the design 1 I'm just going to make that a blue color. So I've just clicked on design 1, go to the fill and make that a blue. Now what I can do here is, instead of having to go through all of that every time, I might want to just bold this as well, and while I'm there I'm just going to right click, just looking for format on there, my alignment, lost alignment. Here, I'm going to center align that. Now I might want that the same for design 2 and design 3. So all I have to do is click on my cell, click the format painter, and then click design 2. Click the format painter and click design 3. So that will copy the formatting. That's the bold, the color, the alignment from one cell to another, but it will not copy the information. It just copies the style. And that's exactly the same when I do that in Excel. I can go to my format of here. I can maybe say that I want my writing to be red with a center line, and I'm just going to fill the background yellow. I can click on this cell, format painter, and click the cell that I wanted to go to, format painter, and copy that styling as well. So that's how we use the format painter for that. For grid lines, I can just select my cells and choose the style of grid that I want. All grids there. And in Excel again, I can select them and choose my grid lines, which are here, and just choose all borders. So that's how I work on the grid lines there, and I can do that for the rest of my cells. So I've explained how to use the format painter. What you need to do is put an example of your work into your ePortfolio, explain what tools you've used to create your work so far, and then add that into your ePortfolio for your teacher to be able to see your work. So remember to save it if you're in Excel as you go along. Google Sheets will save it for you as you progress. So all that's left then to do is looking at our key tasks. We've learnt how to, or got a feel of what the software does, how to input the data and how to format the data. Remember, today, most of today's lesson is about formatting the information. So we've got that. So it's just a case of you saving your work and sending it into your teacher, submit it to Google Classroom, your portfolio.